Struggling to manage your life with just post-its and a messy calendar? Does it ever feel like life is just spiraling chaos no matter how hard you try to get organized? Yep, I know the feeling, but when I started using my COPE method, things finally changed. As a busy neuropsychologist and mompreneur, I had to find a way to ditch the mental clutter for mental peace, so I could have the capacity to reach my biggest goals while also showing up to be the best mom and wife I could be. After endless searching to find the best system, I devised my own using techniques from getting things done and building a second brain. And in this video, not only will I show you my life-changing COPE method for insane organization, but I'll teach you how to apply it to your own life with simple and easy strategies. And if you've heard me talk about my COPE method before, be sure to stick around because we're going to be diving deeper today, and I'm going to be sharing some tips I've never shared before. To start, let me show you the first step in the process. In a recent video I talked about in Fumio Sasaki's book, Goodbye Things, he introduces the concept of the silent to-do list. The idea is that everything in our life, physical and digital, are sending us messages. Add to this the constant mental reminders like remember pajama day, or don't forget to fax that report, or don't forget to call the plumber. It's all so exhausting. Every tiny unspoken message chips away at our focus and productivity, leaving us usually feeling anxious and overwhelmed. Imagine your mind as a computer. I want you to think of it as each silent to-do is a tab left open in your mental browser. Or you know it, you have dozens of tabs open, and it slows down your processing, it clutters your mental workspace, and eventually it crashes your productivity. The good news, there's a simple way to close these mental tabs and reclaim your focus, which brings us to my first step in the COPE method, which is capture. Here's how it works. I want you to develop the habit of immediately capturing every task, reminder, or idea into a single running to-do list. Every time something pops into your head, no matter how small, capture it immediately. This habit does two powerful things, really. It reduces stress, number one, because you're no longer juggling those mental reminders, and two, it improves productivity because nothing is slipping between the cracks. So let's talk about how to keep your running to-do list. I keep mine in my Notion Second Brain task section and my notes section. So tasks go straight into my task section of my Notion Brain. Ideas and revelations and other things that I want to remember that aren't a to-do, those go into notes, and everything can be easily linked to projects or life areas within my Notion Second Brain. So I even offer my Notion Second Brain that I use as a template if that's your jam, but if Notion isn't your thing, no worries. You can use any other digital tool like Trello, Asana, Google Drive, or even your phone notes app to create your running to-do list and your own second brain for yourself. But here is why I strongly recommend that you use digital for capturing your running to-do list item. First of all, for portability, let's face it, your phone is always with you, unlike a bulky planner or like a binder that you might use for a running to-do list. Also for organization, digital tools mean no more rewriting lists or losing tasks in the shuffle. If you have been following me for a while, I used to have my running to-do list by hand and I would rewrite it every single week, and that just takes so much time and things get lost in the shuffle. And then also connectivity. If you have it digitally, you can easily link tasks to projects that you're working on that you have in your digital second brain, or life areas, other folders that you have for different life areas you have, so everything is synced and connected, and that's just something you can't do with paper. However, if you are a paper and pen person, don't worry, I also offer a paper version of my second brain template, and you can use it as a paper version, or if you want to apply it to other digital systems just to have the framework of the system, that it's also great for that too. Now I get it, sometimes you just can't or you don't want to pull out your phone. Maybe you're in a meeting or inspiration strikes when you're cooking dinner. In those cases, jotting it down quickly on a sticky note or a memo pad is perfectly fine. Just make sure to build a simple habit. At the end of each day, I want you to transfer these quick notes into your running to-do list. This ensures nothing slips between the cracks. Remember, the key here is consistency. Capture every single thing that crosses your mind. No more scattered notes, no more mental clutter. You now have one clear, organized place to store every task and idea, and it's going to free your mind for what truly matters. But here's the thing, capturing all that we have to do is only one half of the battle. Next, I'll show you how to not get overwhelmed by this list and how to actually get things done that you capture. Think of your weekly capture like dumping all your clothes on the bed after laundry day. At first glance, it looks chaotic. Shirts, socks, towels are everywhere, but once you fold everything neatly, sort the clothes into proper drawers, suddenly things feel more manageable again. Your mind kind of breathes a sigh of relief. Now, I want us to apply that same metaphor to this principle of your running to-do list. You've captured everything buzzing around in your brain. That's great. But without proper organization, it's just an overwhelming pile of to-dos. That is usually overwhelming when you look at it. So that brings us to the next critical step, which is O for organization. The absolute cornerstone of this entire system is your weekly review. This is your dedicated moment each week where you're going to sit down, look at everything you captured throughout the week, and sort it neatly into clear, manageable categories. So let's quickly walk through these categories that you can think of as a digital file folders. So first up are projects. These are activities with clear deadlines that require multiple steps. For example, planning your kid's birthday party or organizing a work event. Second up are areas of life, which I call life areas. These are your ongoing responsibilities or roles without a specific endpoint. Think of things like managing your personal health, maintaining your home, or running your social media marketing efforts, things like that. Third are resources. These are items you want to reference later but aren't immediate actions. And unlike areas of life, they're general enough that you could share them easily and they don't have personal information on them. So things like interesting articles, recipes, or tutorials. And fourth is archive. This is your storage box for completed tasks, finished projects, or outdated information. It's out of sight, but always there if you need to revisit it later. So let me show you how to do this with some demonstration. Step one, you're gonna ask yourself, is this actionable? If yes, is it just one simple task? If so, keep it in your task list. If it's bigger with multiple steps, then you're going to create a project and break it down into individual tasks. Step two, if it's not actionable, I want you to ask, is this still relevant? If it is still relevant, ask yourself, does it fit into any ongoing area of my life right now? If so, you're going to store it there. If it's not personal and could benefit others, you want to distill the information and save it in your resources. If the answer is no, you're going to just move it to archive if it's not relevant to keep your workspace clear. So by now you'll notice something important. Your mind is going to feel clearer, calmer, and more in control. But there's still one missing piece. We actually haven't gotten anything done yet. So next I'll show you exactly how to take your beautifully organized items and turn them into completed tasks, moving you from organized to accomplished. So imagine sitting down at a restaurant with a huge menu. Everything looks delicious, but you can't possibly eat it all at once. You have to choose what you want right now, today's meal, and what you'll save for next time. Prioritizing your task works exactly the same way. You decide what's most important to tackle this week and schedule the rest for later. So this brings us to the most important step, P for prioritize and schedule. So remember, when you first capture tasks, they land in your inbox. You've already learned how to organize these tasks into categories. So now it's time to prioritize what you organize. Prioritizing simply means deciding when each task needs your attention. So here are clear and simple categories I use in my Notion Second Brain to prioritize tasks each week. So the first category is called Do Next. These are tasks that you're going to tackle this coming week. The second category I use is Scheduled. Tasks you'll handle later, beyond this week, with a specific due date. Another one is Hold. These are tasks you're temporarily pausing. Another one is Waiting For. Tasks that depend on someone else's input or action. Maybe you're waiting for a response before you can do anything. And then the last one is Completed. These are tasks that you finish and that are being archived. During your weekly review, you'll process everything in your inbox, assigning each task a clear priority and category and a due date. The beauty of the second brain template that I use is simplicity. Once you assign a status, tasks automatically move from your inbox into an active task list. This active list neatly sorts itself by due date, placing your due next task right at the top so you always know exactly what to tackle first. Plus, you get a clear calendar view of upcoming tasks and a separate list highlighting anything that is past due. And even better, because everything is interconnected in this template, tasks you add within projects or tasks you add to life areas, those are going to automatically appear in your master task list. You can easily set up something similar in any task management software that you prefer, and I teach you how to do that in my course, Systemize Your Goals, but it doesn't have to be in Notion. The point of me teaching this is just to show you how easy and magical it is when you have it digitally, because you can connect everything and it kind of does the work for you and helping you know what to do next. Now you've cleared the clutter, you clarified your priorities, and you know exactly what to tackle next, but prioritizing alone won't get things done. Next, we'll talk about how to move from prioritizing your tasks to actually taking action. Have you ever been in a group chat with your girlfriends planning that dream girls trip? Everyone's excited, everyone's throwing out ideas, sharing that outfit inspiration, even cracking inside jokes from your last trip. But weeks pass and nobody actually books anything. Then the planner of the group, usually me, we finally step in, pick the Airbnb, confirm the dates, and send out the payment links. Okay, we're the ones that get in and get stuff done. Suddenly, flights and accommodations are booked, and that vague dream trip transforms into reality. Planning your week works exactly the same way. It takes all the organized ideas and tasks that you gathered and makes them concrete, actionable, and achievable. So let's dive into exactly how you do that with your task. The next step in our process is E for engage. This is where you actively engage with your system through weekly planning and daily time blocking. I typically do this immediately after my weekly review using my paper planner. Here's my simple 3-step process. 1, start with your non-negotiables. I look at my digital calendar first and write down all my fixed commitments. So these are things like meetings, appointments, and my weekly routines. Those are all my non-negotiables. Then number 2 is I fit my task around those non-negotiables. So just like placing puzzle pieces, I slot my prioritized due next task that I selected into the open spaces around my non-negotiables. Third is to time block my days. Finally, I break down each day further using my daily pages in my planner, clearly blocking time for each new task. So by the way, if you're curious exactly about how I time block, I have a detailed video on my 3-7 time blocking method on my channel that you can check out. So now your week is clearly mapped out. Tasks are set in motion and you're ready to turn your plans into real progress. So that's my system for insane life organization, built to keep you clear, confident, and unstoppable. But let's be real. Knowing the system is one thing, actually applying it to your life is another. So if you're ready to stop dropping the ball at home while chasing those ambitious goals that you have, I've got exactly what you need next. Check out my Spring Clean Your Life playlist right here. Is packed with proven systems and simple strategies you can start using immediately to declutter your mind, streamline your routines, and finally get ahead of the chaos. So check it out. Click right here and I will see you over there. Until next time, cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Namaste.